So the album's called Parallel Love, and it's our second album with AOR Heaven.
The writing process was about 2 years of constant demoing, recording, wanting to capture our live sound for this album, especially with Ryan on drums. He wasn't on the last album.
I was brought into the band as a session drummer. Had a few conversations with James over a few emails, and then after the tour had finished, they'd asked me if I wanted to do it as a permanent basis. And it was, I didn't have to think about it because I loved the music so much, and it was a no-brainer really.
We got him in the recording studio, tracked the live drums, recorded all the other instruments at my home studio. Mixing was done by Christopher Borg, who did the last album, and he did the mastering as well.
So this time around we spent a bit more time demoing and sort of really honing in on the songs, didn't we?
Yeah, for sure.
A lot more of a collaborative effort.
We all had a very much our own input into the tracks. Not just you know, it wasn't just kind of like here's your track, here's ours. It was always kind of like we all had input into every single track.
So the artwork was actually done by Tycho Long, who also did the World in Motion EP and the In Pursuit of Memory album. We wanted that consistency from each album with the artwork, because I think it looks great. Every time we do like an album, we put down the ideas as best as we can using Photoshop, and then we send it to the artist, and then he does his work.
Makes it look lovely.
And between us we then use the themes and the imagery to complete the booklet and the rest of the album artwork and layout.
So for anyone new to Atlas, Without You would be a great starting point, because it's got everything we sort of do, which is heavy riffs, great melody, relatable lyrics, all sort of together in a big melting pot.
So it started when we came up with a bit of a groove riff, which ended up being the main riff, and then we just sort of battered it back and forth between me and James.
Yeah, I think how we had a 7-string riff, which we hadn't done before, and it's not really common in AOR or melodic rock, but we wanted to do something a little heavier, but keep it melodic really.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
And I think we did. I think I was demoing it with Chris as well. Chris came up with some great ideas for the verses.
Yeah, I took a verse from an unused track and it seemed to work with the track. The groove went well with the lyrics. It just flowed really well, so it came off as a great song. So this track was actually the first one we wrote towards the Parallel Love album, and I actually wrote this just before the release of In Pursuit of Memory, but it was a little too late for the mixing process. But we ended up playing it on tour with Midnight City and Age of Reflection. It went down really well. We reworked it a little bit once it went on the recording, but it's come off really good, especially with the backing harmonies as well.
That's great. It's one of my favourite songs. Nice keyboard, melodic parts in it. Howie did a great job of bringing that keyboard part back into his own solo towards the end. That was cool. Yes, it does. Even though it was written towards the end of the last album cycle, it feels like it really does belong on this album.
Fits in very well, doesn't it?
Human Touch came about almost by accident, really.
It started off originally as a 7-string riff, and we thought it sounds a bit dark, so we'll octave it and then just stick the octave pedal on top of it. So it sounds pretty fat.
It was a really good track to record this because it starts with a really cool, big, epic drum intro. And then it's just got a lot of groove in it, so personally for me it was just a really great track to record.
I think with the production style we was going for as well, we was going for that 80s Mutt Lange style, which you can probably hear on the track. It just sounds huge. So Dare to Love Again actually started off as a demo that I recorded on my phone with my acoustic guitar. I sent it over to James, and the verse originally was meant to be the chorus, but we switched it up, and we were trying to aim for a straight up melodic rock track, kind of like Seasons Change from the last album.
We felt the last album had too many softer moments, and for this album we were like, well, we were playing live so much now compared to the last album where we hadn't really toured much. We were like, we need songs that are going to be upfront, heavy, melodic, instantly recognisable.
So Dare to Love is like the big sort of stadium rock influenced sort of one with the great sort of melody hooks that, you know, you can really see the crowd sing along with that, can't you?
Yeah, for
Like,
sure. I think
the guitar line as much as the vocals.
Throwback to Flesh and Blood, really. We wanted a similar type of hook again between guitar and synth, and yeah, great harmonies on the chorus. Great, probably my favourite guitar solo from Howie on the album.
Yeah, it's really. You'll see it on the video. It's really good, and then it's got that piano breakdown before the final chorus that just gives it that extra boom. So yeah, that'll be the first song you hear from the album, so watch out.
Every instrument in that song just really stands out. You know, like if you're a drummer, if you're a guitarist, or even a singer, like you can listen to that song and there's something for everyone. You know? Yeah, or bassist, you know. There's something for everyone, you know, and it's a great track. This track, it's got a very heavy element to it.
Some might say fiery.
Some might say fiery.
It really started from a demo Craig had, and the lyrics were quite dark and heavy, so I decided to make a really heavy riff to accompany it, and it was sending it back and forth between me and Howie on his 7 string, changing the riff so it wasn't too heavy and was going to put people off that were into this type of music, but we really did want a heavier edge for this one.
We came up with the chorus actually just vocal and piano to begin with, and just took it from there, and then we recorded the bridge part of it before the solo section, and it all flowed together, and then it just became this massive epic track. It's not just heavy though, it's got such a great melody to it.